Hi guys, Namaste, Adrian here. So I was just about to start recording my weekly tarot readings for all the different zodiac signs, which is about love. And I realized that I would have to have quite a long introductory talk in the beginning of each and every video about love. So I decided to make a separate video about love. All right. So of course, when you do a reading about love, it's generally about romance, soulmate, twin flame, all these sort of things, and what is the other person doing, and what are they thinking, and is my relationship going to work out, and will I find my soulmate, and all these type of things. So yes, there is that aspect in my reading. But for me, when I speak about love, it is all about you. I find that I'm going to give you just a very brief history of how I got to where I currently am. I've had to check what the date is. So today is Sunday, April the 19th, 2020. So the way that I got to where I am, I'm going to have to just very quickly explain that to give you my point of view as to why I do what I do and how I do what I do and my point of view, etc. So first of all, I call myself a holistic wellness practitioner. And for me, what that means is that my approach to what I do is holistic. Okay, so it's not only the spiritual side. I find that yes, something that I've been saying to people for a very, very long time is that yes, you can make yourself, sick or unwell or whatever the case may be, get yourself into a life situation that you prefer not to have, and you get there with your thoughts, with your beliefs, with your upbringing, with your background, with all those sort of stuff. And if your thoughts can bring you to a certain point, then obviously it only stands to reason that your thoughts can also get you to a different point. But let's say, for example, you come from a background that is very difficult to deal with, very abusive, all those sort of things, and because of all this, you know um, I suppose what the world would call negative energy, or energy that didn't impact you that well, whatever it may be, it brought you to a point where there was somewhere inside you that almost collected like all this dark energy, and now it's starting to manifest outside in your body, and you develop something like cancer, for example. So you can understand that your thoughts brought you there. But if you are not yet at the capacity where you have that control over your thoughts, what you feel, what you believe, what you think, and how you can, manage your energy with your thoughts. Up until this point, I feel it makes only sense to work the medical side along with the spiritual side. So for me, that is holistic. It includes everything. It doesn't make anybody wrong. It doesn't make anything wrong. I also feel that when it comes to right and wrong, those are very subjective sort of terms. It's something that you have to decide for yourself what is right for you, what is not right for you, because of course there's also something that constantly changes. So for me, holistic, it is about just bringing all the positive together, everything that can work. All right. So obviously with wellness, what is serving you well? What is serving you? What is serving you well? Your heart. What does make your heart smile? Your soul smile? What is something that touches that positive side that I believe that we all have inside us? I believe that inside of us there is a part that is always at peace. There's a part that's always at harmony. There's a part that's always calm. And this part is where you find all the answers that you seek. And that is why I like regression hypnosis, because it gets you to this part. Okay, so when I call myself a holistic wellness practitioner, it is, I believe, that the answer that we seek is always you. Okay, but in my work, I feel that I help you to to find the path that leads to your answer, because the path is different for everybody. The answer may be the same, and even the question may be the same, but the path is different for everybody, because we all have different, I believe, life plans, soul plans, destinies, reasons for incarnating. That's my belief. Okay. So I work with the heart space, and for me is, if I can help you get into the space where you can love yourself, approve yourself, appreciate yourself, see yourself as a person that is at least worthy of a chance in this world, okay? Is at least worthy of a life that makes you feel good about yourself, that make you feel that you have value, that there is at least some sort of purpose to you being born, okay? And this could be that you feel that you have to be on a world stage as a leader who help thousands or millions of people, or even billions. Or it could be that you are a good parent, that you are a good partner, that you are happy within yourself, okay, that you are happy with your life. So just very quickly, I've always been very, I suppose, what you call psychic or connected or stuff like that, and I never really used to think too much about it because it was always there, you know. I remember as a child I was very clairvoyant, and I would forever be seeing somebody that that may have passed or something like that. And I've always kind of been very much in my own sort of world. In a sense, very absent, you can even say, from the actual world itself. And I spend a lot of time in my life running away from who I actually am. Okay, so that's very real. But in 2013, I eventually came back to South Africa. I was in the Middle East. I'm from South Africa. And once again, it was a trip that that didn't work out. And so I remember I met this person, and for some weird reason, I always had very good intuition with people. So for some weird reason, I was telling this person about me, which I would never ever do, you know. But I believe that life guides us to the right people at the right time when we need them. And I believe that this person was one of those people. This lady was one of those people. And she was a Reiki master, Reiki practitioner, like an energy healing, the ancient Japanese form of healing, and or Japanese found rather. So this was in 2013. I did Reiki training level 1 with her, which is all about really healing yourself, because you, as a psychic medium, so to speak, if you want to call it a word, or as a energetic healer, we love as human beings to give things these words, but the energy really filters through you. So you as yourself, as a conduit of energy, it's like you're like a filter, like a sieve, basically, like a, whatever you want to call it, like a gate, go between this world and the next world, whatever, a transmitter in the veil. You choose your words. But sorry, you can obviously only transmit or let the energy flow in the way that that the parts that you have. It's like cleaning a pipe. If the pipe is nice and clean and all this type of stuff, the water can just flow. But if the pipe's a bit clogged and a bit bent and maybe cracks along the side, then the water won't flow that easily, or the water may come out on the other end, but it won't be as pure as it actually came through. Okay, so as a person who steps into a role where you do call yourself holistic wellness practitioner, how you maintain your own level of life in your personal capacity, it's actually called living the Reiki way. It's very, very important. It's absolutely imperative, because the simple truth is there's a lot of light out there and there's a lot of dark out there, and some energy forms out there have a lot of positive intent for us, and some energy forces out there have a lot of negative intent for us. So in 2013, I studied Reiki, started to learn things about chakras and auras and, meridians and all these fascinating things, which somehow at the cellular, I suppose, level, or DNA pathological level, whatever you want to call it, I always knew and always understood, but I didn't have the wording for it. And on the day, actually, on Nelson Mandela's funeral, it's actually the day that I had my Reiki level 1, what do you call it? Alignment, attunement, sorry. And I was very lucky because then in the following year, I got Reiki level 2, the training, the initiation, where you then go and you help others with the practice of it. I met another incredible, what you would call energy healer or psychic healer, through my actual Reiki teacher, who taught me quite a lot about two things that always used to fascinate me a lot: crystals and angels. And then I realized, we've always kind of been connected. I somehow just always understood each other. And then, of course, later on, I then got into NLP, which is because I like to understand people. And because the thing is, the way that you say something and the way that it's perceived is not always the same. And that's where NLP is brilliant. As well as regression hypnosis, which I'm very passionate about. In my work, I really bring together NLP, crystal healing, Reiki, as well as the assistance of the angels, into my regression hypnosis sessions, which is a very spiritual way of having or conducting a hypnosis session. And for me, the focus is always on at what point in life did something happen that kind of, if you want to call it that, almost fractured your soul, took you to that part where you forgot that you are this incredible being of light, that you forgot that you are amazing, that you are perfect, that you have a vision, that you have a purpose, that you are light, that you are divine, that you are from the divine, that you form part of everything and everything forms part of you, that yes, the universe and the multiverse and the galaxy, or whatever you want to call it, the heavens, it's really, really large. It's vast and it's ever expanding. But, of course, when we do the earthly incarnation, we forget that we are part of all of this, and we are very important part of all of this, all of it is part of us. And so I work a lot with the heart space to get you to that point where you somehow either forgot it. And I mean, in this world, we can sometimes be confronted or faced with many, many things that can really hit us very hard, abuse, be it physical abuse, be it emotional abuse, be it verbal abuse, just life experiences, trauma. There's a lot of things that can happen in this world that can make us really feel like we're victims, like we're worthless, like we don't have value, that we are a mistake. That it's a mistake that we were ever born, and it kind of takes us out of the space of self-love. And so, as I said, I wanted to focus this week's this is really for, obviously, whenever you look at this video, it applies to you, but it's just for the specific readings, the 20 till 30 April 2020. I want to speak about love, but I didn't only want to speak about, the romantic side of love, but also the love about us, the love of ourselves, appreciating ourselves, self-love, because I find in so much of the work that I do, I've been doing tarot since 2001, and along the way, I also started, reading like crystals, reading oracle cards, as you'll see when you look at my readings. For all the zodiac signs, I've got a reading coming out every week to the best of my ability that I can. Sometimes I have to group them together, and I also do runes, which is amazing. I actually got the runes in this beautiful bag, which is hand sewn with gold over there, and like a Reiki symbol, the power symbol, cycle ray with some crystals that my best friend made for me. It's beautiful. And I've got another one also. I sometimes pop my phone into that. My other phone. So one of the things that people come to me a lot and ask me is they want to know about love. And then for me, especially with the twin flame journey that everybody is speaking about, is that the twin flame journey itself, or let's rather go, soulmates itself, I believe that we are all soulmates on this planet, all right? And that we have an individual as well as a shared existence or experience, you know? And so for me, we are all soulmates, really, helping each other, assisting each other. And I don't mean to speak down on humanity, but as a human collective, we're very much about me, I, my stuff, you know, my this, I that, which I believe takes us out of that simple logic that we are part of something more, not just, you know, the other people around on the planet, but even the whole universe itself. We kind of take ourselves out of that. And and then of course when it comes to twin flame, everybody's looking for their twin flame. But I remember quite a couple of years ago, I have to think now, so it was early in 2013, one of my best friends said to me, I was carrying on about love and feeling so lonely and sorry for myself, and, you know, poor me, and I never get the love I deserve, and I've actually just been cheated on, and oh, poor me. And the person said to me that when you reach a point in life where you would appreciate having love, but you don't need it, everything will actually change for you. And of course, I didn't buy into that at all. But the twin flame journey, I've come to obviously then, you know, through the years discover it is all about you. Where you would like to be with somebody in this world and you'll appreciate being with somebody, but your happiness doesn't depend on it. Okay? Because I really find that probably 85, if not 90% of people that you know, that often come to me, especially for tarot readings, because I do personal readings as well, it would normally be about love, you know. And the very thing that I feel is supposed to make us happy and is supposed to make us feel fulfilled and is supposed to make us feel like we have value, well, about us, love, is the very thing that makes us unhappy sometimes, because we place that onus on somebody else to make us happy. You know, if I'm not in a relationship or in a good relationship or in a marriage or in a partnership or anything like that, then my life's a flop. You know, being single is seen as one of these horrible ways of failing, in a sense, at being human. Okay. You know, if you're a lady and you're at a certain age of your life and you're not married yet and you don't have children, you're seen as, by many still in this world, and not only societies, but often also by the self, as a failure. You know, and a lot of times when I work with people, then they come to find that, and it's not always the case because everybody's different, but a lot of times we come to find, and it's not just with ladies, it's with, you know, it's with the guys as well, that once you realize that you were trying to live up to a certain sort of perception that the world put out there for you, how you should be, you know, by this age you should have that, and by that age you should have that, it can really make you feel very uprooted. Okay. I'm 38 in July, so it's not April, May, June, July. So 3 more months, just under 3 months, I'll be 38 years old. And I'm not married, I don't have kids, I don't own a house, I don't own a car, you know. And for me, when I turned 30, I fell into this deep, dark pit of depression because I felt that I had nothing and nobody to live for. In fact, I got to such a depression that I actually became completely suicidal. I bought myself a bottle of vodka. I had like 850 tablets in my backpack. I had some other stuff. I really researched it. I wanted to take myself out. And the reason why I was so unhappy is because I felt that my life um, was a flop, was a mistake. That when it came to me, that God must have made a mistake. But when I, started to open up and realize at rock bottom that there must be a different way here, I came to realize, but I can be my own success story. I can be my own love. Because I realized that I wasn't loving myself, and I wasn't appreciating myself. And the reason I felt I didn't have value is because my life was not unfolding in the way that the world tells you a success story, goes. And so yes, I'm not saying that if you want to have I'm not saying that if you have this sort of problems, then then you can't have a reading with me. By all means do. But for me, I always work with the heart space. How do you get yourself into this love space? And how do you get yourself into a space where you realize that no matter what happens in the world, that you always have value. You always had it and you will always have it. Okay? And yeah, so when I talk about love, that is what I'm talking about. Because I'm very careful to just throw stuff out there, If I may, in fact, there's one thing that I hear a lot, and sometimes when I hear it, I really, really cringe, that people say you shouldn't buy into the fear. Don't buy into the fear, guys. Don't buy into the fear, And whilst it's there's nothing wrong with saying it, I find that a lot of people don't actually understand what you mean when you are speaking about it. Okay, so for me, when I say about the fear, it's about the collective consciousness that that you're not good enough, that things are not working out, that dark can win over light, that we sometimes forget that we are divine beings, and I feel that at the most crucial of times we actually forget it. Okay. I take, like, for example, at this particular point in time of me doing this recording right now, the coronavirus is basically globally. It's everywhere. A lot of people in lockdown. There's a lot of people passing. There are a lot of theories out there. Some of them may be true. Some of them may not be true. But there's a lot of worry and a lot of concern happening in the world. And amidst all of this, we forget that as human beings, we are survivors. We survived a lot of things before. And I'm not even talking about the the big things too, but even in your own life. There's a lot of things, if you look at it up to this point in your life, that you have survived to make it to where you are right now. The mere fact that you are born, if you go look at just from two parts that come together, the parts of your father and the parts of your mother, it's tiny. And if you look into the biological side of it, there are so many things that can go wrong from the time that you are conceived till the time that you are born. There are so many things that can go wrong from the time that you are born till probably about 1 year old, and every single day of your life, we forget that being alive every single day is a miracle. It's a beautiful expression of life, which I believe to be love. And as human beings, we spend so much time looking for meaning, looking for essence, looking for validation, that we forget by the simple, actually not simple, but by the mere fact of being born, of being here, of living every day, of breathing, of, if you take let's just, for this example, use a human being that is functional, in the sense that all human beings are like fully functional, breathing easily, walking, talking, that sort of stuff. It's a miracle. It is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing, and we forget to be grateful for it. And when I say us, I mean all of us. This is why I love teaching. I'm so passionate about teaching. I teach tarot, I teach Reiki, I teach crystal healing, I teach angel healing. I don't teach NLP and hypnosis at this point, maybe at a later point. But I love teaching or just sharing. You're more than welcome to follow me on Facebook. You're welcome to follow me on Instagram. Those links are down below. I often go live on Facebook as often as I can. As well as try to put out a motivational maybe 2 to 5 minute video on Instagram as often as I can, except for maybe on the days when I sometimes have a regression hypnosis client, because my client is there in front of me. You are the most important thing to me right now. Nothing else in the world exists but you. But I do all of that because I try my best to assist humanity, to remind you of how incredible you are. But the wonderful thing is that when I forget, which as a human being I do, I'm not this, I don't know, saint, guru sort of person. I'm a normal human being. I've got emotions. I've got things. I've got my own stuff, as we all do. And it's when I forget sometimes, when I do actually buy into the fear, when I feel like, oh my goodness, nothing's working. When I go into the dark space, which, we often refer to as the fear, then it's the people that I teach and taught that remind me of who I am. So that is the magic about sharing information. You don't actually want to keep everything just to yourself, because it's kind of silly. Okay. So yeah, that is what I do, and that is why I do what I do, and that is why I love doing what I do. And for me, it's all about helping others realize how incredible, absolutely incredible you are, unlocking that potential within yourself. And that is why I'm so passionate about regression hypnosis, because you go kind of past the gateway of that conscious mind straight to the subconscious, and the answers are within you. Okay. And that is really, really amazing. So thank you so much for listening to my little talk about what I do. And at whichever point in time you look at this, I believe that we always bring the information to us. I always say it with all my tarot clients as well, or card reading clients, that when we're looking for our higher self, we always want to look out there, but your higher self is basically you. It's that oversoul or overall part of you. The example that I always use, I say it's like, if you want to think of your soul having a human being experience, in relation with your soul family and the angels and source of all, which is my name for God, out there, think of yourself as the 5%, and your higher self or overall self is the other 95%, but it's all part of you. Okay, so think of yourself as part of a cruise ship, very Star Warsy type of example. So you're part of a crew, but you're the one who goes outside of the spaceship, and you're connected with all your cables and your wires and your microphone and your whatever out there, and you're the one who's going to explore, and you're giving feedback to everybody else inside the ship, the soul having a human being experience. And at any point in time, if you need some help, all you need to do is ask, and they'll either pull you back in again, or somebody else will come out to assist you. So we are never, ever, ever, ever alone. And a lot of the reason why I do especially like to work online so much, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, is I know that there are people out there that feel that they are alone, and that might feel hopeless, out of harmony, no unity, no peace, all that sort of stuff. And this can happen to the best of us. Okay. And I feel there's such a perception sometimes that if you forget who you are, because the world can be so overwhelming. But if you forget who you are sometimes, then it's almost like you've done something wrong. And I want to remind you that it is okay to have a human being experience. It's okay to feel those emotions sometimes. And in fact, I always say to people, rather feel your emotions and get them out of the way, as opposed to try and hide them. It's like putting dust underneath a carpet, you know. You might not see it, but you're still going to have dust-related problems. Whereas when you clean out the dust, then you make space for new things. And yes, it's not always easy, you know. People speak about dark night of the soul and, inner child healing. And so sometimes the road can be a bit rocky. But if we can at least buy into or at least open our minds to the idea that you are already a masterpiece, and you are also the masterpiece becoming. So you already are perfect, and you're also unfolding and becoming perfect. Then life becomes fascinating and exciting to you. And when you reach that level where you really love yourself, appreciate yourself, approve of yourself, then you find a kind of love that really serves you well and serves you best. Because remember, in life you attract what you give out. So if you are in an unhappy space where you don't feel complete and you're looking for somebody else to come around to complete you, to be your better half, to come around and save you, then unless, both of you really work at it to find your own happiness inside, inevitably it's like your relationship is it's bound to fail, because nobody can make you happy. All right, happiness is an inside job. It's something that comes from within. And if you are going to place it on somebody else to make you happy, to complete you, to make you feel like you've got value, then it usually doesn't work out, because it's an inside job. But when you can work at yourself, the happiness within yourself, and you get to the point where you say, like, I would really, really like to have love. There is nothing wrong with wanting to have love in your life, wanting to have love, wanting to have a partner, wanting to have a home, wanting to have a dream life, wanting to have all those things. There's nothing, in my belief, wrong with that. But it is when we start to determine our level of happiness based on whether we're in a relationship or not, that is when you're really not doing yourself any favors. Okay? So you're more than welcome to, if it resonates with you, you can subscribe to my channel. I do have readings come out every week. I share some knowledge. When I channel something, I share that as well. I do my best to help as I can, because I believe that is my purpose in this world, which I lovingly do. And subscribe to my Facebook or my Instagrams or YouTubes, or leave me comments, or you're more than welcome to do all of that. But from my heart to yours, namaste. Love and light.